Let me ask you a painful question. Why is it that despite being the good person, despite being the one who always helps, the one who listens, the one who cares, you are never the one they desire? Why are you always the sidekick, never the protagonist? Why does the person who gives half the effort get double the respect? Let me be brutally honest with you. You have been lied to. Your entire life, your parents, your teachers, the cartoons you watched, they all sold you the same story. Be a good boy, be a nice girl, and the world will love you. This is the greatest con in human history. Here is the cold, hard truth. The human brain, whether male or female, is not evolutionarily wired to fall in love with niceness. It is wired to fall in love with power. We are instinctively drawn to those who could hurt us but choose not to. Someone who cannot hurt you isn't kind. They are weak, and nobody, I repeat, nobody falls in love with weakness. Pity is not passion. If you click away now, you are sentenced to remain that harmless, boring, nice person who is eternally friend-zoned and overlooked. But if you stay, we are going to deconstruct 9 forbidden laws from the depths of Jungian psychology and Nietzschean philosophy. You are going to learn how to build that dark aura, that dangerous charisma that makes the room go silent when you walk in.
Let's start with a scenario. Imagine you're at a party. There are 2 people. Person A, let's call him the pleaser. He smiles constantly, he agrees with everything you say. If you accidentally step on his shoe, he apologizes to you. He is desperate to prove he is harmless. Person B, let's call him the sovereign. He is polite, but his smile is rare. When you speak to him, you feel something behind his eyes, a dormant force. You get the distinct feeling that if you crossed a line, he has the capacity to ruin you, or at least put you in your place with a single look. But he doesn't. He remains calm. Now, answer this honestly. Who do you respect? Who are you drawn to? Most people think the pleaser is the virtuous one, but Carl Jung, the legendary Swiss psychiatrist, disagrees. He argues that the pleaser isn't dangerous because he can't be. He is like a rabbit. A rabbit isn't virtuous because it doesn't eat the wolf. It's just a rabbit. It has no claws. It has no choice. In contrast, the sovereign possesses what Jung calls the shadow. The shadow is the reservoir of your aggression, your dark desires, your capacity for mayhem. The shadow paradox is this: true charisma is born when you show the world that you have sharp teeth, but you keep them sheathed. Why do you think we love anti-heroes like Tommy Shelby or the Joker? Because they live in their shadow. They are capable of monstrosity, which makes their moments of kindness incredibly valuable. The trap you fall into is repressing your aggression to appear civilized. You block your own psychic energy. You become flat, artificial, and predictable. People can smell it. They smell the fear. They smell the pretense. When you're too nice, people don't think you're a saint. They think you're hiding something, or worse, that you're bargaining for their approval. So, the strategy? You must shake hands with the monster inside you. You must integrate that capacity for aggression, that ability to say a hard no, and that drive for power. When someone disrespects you, do not smile and look away. Hold the eye contact. Let the silence become heavy. Let them see that they are walking on thin ice. Remember, charisma is dancing on the edge of a blade. A man without a sword cannot be a knight. He's just a victim waiting for his turn. If you want to be loved, you must first be respected. And respect is fear tamed.
Have you ever wondered why diamonds cost a fortune while sand is free? They are both just stones. The difference is simple: scarcity. This is the first law of economics, and the bad news is that the brutal law of supply and demand applies equally to human relationships. Robert Greene, in the 48 Laws of Power, wrote a masterpiece of a sentence: "The more you are seen and heard, the more common you appear." Let me break this down with a real-world example so you can see exactly where you've been going wrong. Imagine you start dating someone. Let's call her Sarah. You like her, so what do? You say good morning every day. You reply to her texts within seconds. If she asks to hang out, you cancel your plans to be there. You have become like oxygen. You're vital, sure, but because you are everywhere, nobody appreciates your presence. You are free. You are cheap. Now look at the other side of the coin. Let's call him Alex. Alex is mysterious. He texts, but not always. When he is with you, he is 100% present. He is charming. He is funny. But then he vanishes. He goes dark for 3 hours. He says, "I can't make it tonight. I have a project." What is Sarah doing now? She's checking her phone. She's asking herself, where is Alex? Why hasn't he replied? What is he doing? Do you see the shift? You saturated Sarah with your presence, but Alex used his absence to create psychological hunger. Jacques Lacan, the French psychoanalyst, explains this perfectly. He says, desire is the desire for what we lack. If you give yourself completely to someone, they have nothing left to discover. There is no void to fill. The trap is thinking that if you aren't there, they will forget you, but the opposite is true. If you are always there, you will be ignored. You must learn to pull back. You must give them the opportunity to miss you. You must allow their imagination to work and build an image of you. In the marketplace of relationships, be the luxury item with limited hours, not the 24/7 convenience store that never closes. But wait, why are you so terrified of being absent? Why do you think the world will end if you don't reply for 2 hours? The root of this fear leads us to the third law, which is the most lethal poison to your charisma.
Now we are going to touch upon your deepest psychological wound, something Sigmund Freud traces back to early childhood. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a business meeting or a first date. One person is sitting there talking non-stop. I have this degree, I drive this model of car, I traveled to these countries, I read these books. He thinks he is impressing the other person, but in reality, the other person is suppressing a yawn, thinking, God, this guy is needy. This behavior is called the validation trap. When you are constantly trying to prove yourself, you are subconsciously screaming, please see me, please tell me I have value. It is no different than the child running to his mother with a drawing saying, Mommy, look what I made, just to hear her say, good job. True power, true charisma does not need to explain itself. It knows what it is. In any social gathering, the most attractive person isn't the one with the loudest voice or the best stories. It is the one leaning back, speaking less, watching everyone else with a slight, amused smile. Let me teach you a golden rule of dynamics. In every interaction, there is a judge and there is a defendant. The person explaining, justifying, and trying to look good is the defendant. The person listening, nodding, and evaluating is the judge. For your entire life, you have been writing the defense for the accused. From today, you must sit in the judge's chair. New scenario. Someone asks, so what do you do for a living? Don't give them your resume. Don't say, I manage this department and I have 50 employees under me. Just look them in the eye, calm and collected, and say, I'm in the import business. And then, silence. Let them be curious. Let them ask the follow-up questions. When you don't crave their validation, they will subconsciously work to earn yours. This is absolute needlessness. Charisma is projecting the feeling that your happiness, your confidence, and your self-worth depend on absolutely no one. Once you escape this trap, you create a vacuum, a space that is no longer filled with boasting and begging. Now, how do you fill that space? You fill it with the one thing that hooks the human brain like a drug: ambiguity. In the next section, we learn how to be as unpredictable as the Greek gods.
Friedrich Nietzsche, the great German philosopher, spoke of Dionysius, the god of wine, madness, and chaos. What makes Dionysius compelling is his unpredictability. You see, the human brain functions exactly like a puzzle-solving machine. We are addicted to riddles. We are obsessed with what we cannot understand. But the moment we solve the puzzle, We throw it in the corner and move on to the next one. Your fatal mistake is this. You think honesty means opening your chest and displaying your organs on the first date. You think telling them your life story, your deepest fears, and your 5-year plan makes you intimate. In reality, you are turning yourself into a solved puzzle, and a solved puzzle is a boring puzzle. Let's compare 2 scenarios. Scenario A. You meet someone, and within an hour they tell you, I'm lonely, I'm looking for something serious, I'm free every Thursday, my favorite food is pizza, and I hate my boss. Well, the lights are on and there is nobody home. There is no darkness. Your brain has to do 0 work. Result? Boredom. Scenario B. You meet someone who sends mixed signals. One moment they're warm, making you feel like the only person in the room. 10 minutes later, they're cool, distant, lost in thought. One day they speak with passion, the next they offer only a mysterious smile. When you ask, where were you yesterday? Instead of filing a police report, they simply say, somewhere I needed to be, and change the subject. This is where the magic happens. When you go home that night, who are you thinking about? The open book? No, you are driving yourself crazy analyzing the mysterious one. What did he mean by that? Does she like me? Who is she really? This behavior creates an information void. The brain hates a void, so it fills it with fantasy. And here's the good news. The version of you they build in their imagination is 1,000 times more attractive than the real you could ever be. So, the strategy. Do not be an open book, be a diary with a missing key. Make them work to understand you. Always keep a part of your soul hidden. Let them interpret, let them guess, let them analyze. Remember, attraction feeds on not knowing, not on certainty. But now that you've hooked their mind, it's time to capture their heart. And to do that, you must understand that people don't love you. They love themselves.
Let's face the darkest truth of psychology. We are all, without exception, narcissists. Heinz Kohut, the psychoanalyst who specialized in narcissism, taught that the deepest human need is to be mirrored and admired. Most people play this game wrong. They enter a conversation and immediately start broadcasting their resume to prove how smart, rich, or funny they are. This is the most idiotic thing you can do, because when you talk about yourself, you are competing with the other person's ego. The secret to becoming an idol is the magic mirror technique. In the story of Snow White, the queen loved the mirror. Why? Because the mirror told her she was beautiful. The mirror didn't talk about itself, it only reflected the queen. Let me give you a concrete case study from a real conversation. Imagine the other person is talking about a small success at work. The average person, who kills attraction, jumps in and says, "Oh yeah, I had a similar project last year, but mine was way bigger and..." Congratulations, you just murdered the vibe. You took the spotlight off them and pointed it at yourself. Now they feel small and they resent you for it. Now what does the strategist do? He stays silent, he listens intently, and then he asks one surgical question that forces the other person to brag even more. He says, "Really? How did you handle that pressure? That takes a serious amount of intelligence." Boom! You just injected them with heroin. They start talking faster, their eyes dilute, dopamine is flooding their brain. They are falling in love with themselves in your presence. They are thinking, "My God, this person gets me. They are so smart to recognize my genius." The strategy is simple. Feed their narcissism, but keep your hand on the wheel. You are the one dispensing the drug of feeling special. This makes them addicted to your presence because nobody else in the world pays attention to them like this. Everyone else is too busy screaming their own name. When you become their mirror, they cannot live without you because without you, they lose that beautiful reflection of themselves. So far, we've learned to be mysterious and to validate others. But life isn't always smooth sailing. Eventually, you will mess up. You will trip.
Your flaws will be exposed. What then? Do you apologize and shrink? Or is there a way to weaponize even your failures? The next law is exactly about that.
Let's talk about a word that is eating your charisma like termites. Sorry. Many of us are addicted to apologizing. We apologize for being late. We apologize for having a different opinion. We apologize for simply existing. Nietzsche had a concept called Amor Fati, love of fate. This means you don't just hide your flaws, you love them, you embrace the chaos. Imagine a very common scenario. You are at a social gathering and you make a mistake. You trip and stumble, or you stutter while telling a joke. What does the weak person do? They turn red, they panic, they start explaining, "Oh my God, so sorry, clumsy me, the floor is slippery." In that moment, the smell of weakness fills the room. You are telling everyone, "I am broken, please forgive me." Now, what does the strategist do? He trips, recovers, looks the audience dead in the eye with a wide grin and says, "I think the gravity in this room has a crush on me," and he's the first one to laugh. Do you see the difference? The event is the same, but your reaction dictates your status. When you are not ashamed of your imperfections, no one can use them against you. Let me give you a masterpiece example from Game of Thrones, Tyrion Lannister. He is a dwarf. In a world where power equals swordsmanship, he's the weakest creature alive. Yet why is he magnetic? Because he tells Jon Snow, "Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor, and it can never be used to hurt you." This is tragic confidence. It means I am short, my nose is big, I'm broke, or I have a dark past, and despite all of that, I am the king of my own world. When you put your flaws on the table with pride, it is disarming. People worship those who are not afraid to be human. Now that you've learned to hug your scars, you must learn how to handle those who try to attack them, because the moment you become strong, enemies will appear.
There is an unwritten rule in the jungle of power. Whoever reacts, loses. Think of a small dog barking at a lion. Does the lion turn around and start debating the dog? Does the lion get offended and explain why he is the king of the jungle? No, the lion doesn't even look. The lion keeps walking. This is royal indifference. Average people are slaves to their emotional reactions. Someone makes a sarcastic comment, takes too long to reply to a text, or offers a sharp criticism, and they explode. They start defending, attacking, or sulking. When you get angry, you have handed the remote control of your emotions to the other person. They pressed a button, and you jumped. That makes them your master. Let me teach you a lethal technique from Robert Greene. Scenario: someone tries to humiliate you or makes a rude joke to embarrass you in a group. Your instinct is to snap back with a clever comeback. Don't. That is a trap. Instead, use the extended silence technique. Turn to them, look them directly in the eyes. No smile, no anger, just a blank, neutral canvas, and say absolutely nothing. Just look. 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. The silence is deafening. They expected a fight, but your silence says, "Your words are so insignificant, they don't even deserve my vocabulary." Under your heavy gaze, they will crumble. They will start stuttering or justifying their joke. That is when the power shifts. You won without speaking a single syllable. The ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, were masters of this game. They believed you cannot control external events, but you can guarantee the immobility of your inner fortress. When you show the world that no word, no behavior, and no rejection can shake your internal peace, you become a terrifyingly attractive riddle. People ask themselves, what is this person anchored to that makes them so solid? And this is exactly where we move to the next level. When you are as solid as a mountain, others who are full of fear and doubt will subconsciously want to lean on you.
They are looking for a savior, and you are going to be that savior.
Let's confront a terrifying truth about the modern human condition. We are not free, we're lost. Today's world is drowning in options. What should I wear? What should I eat? Who should I marry? What career should I pick? Psychologists call this the paradox of choice. This endless freedom is not liberating, it is anxiety-inducing. Deep in the subconscious of every adult, there is a frightened child looking for a hand to hold, looking for a father or mother figure to say, "Don't worry, the path is this way." This is where the savior illusion comes in. Freud called it transference. People are subconsciously hunting for someone onto whom they can offload the heavy burden of decision-making. The trap you fall into is thinking that democracy is sexy. Standard scenario, you are on a date. You ask, "Where do you want to go?" You think you are being polite. You say, "Whatever you want, babe, I'm easy." Do you think that's respect? No, that is weakness. You are throwing the hot potato of responsibility into their lap. They are already tired. They are looking for someone to lead. Now, let's see the strategist's version. They ask, "Where are we going?" You, even if you aren't 100% sure, say with a firm voice and direct eye contact, "Wear something sharp. We are going to that Italian spot downtown at 8 p.m. We're having pasta tonight." Did you feel the shift? A massive weight just lifted off their shoulders. Now they feel safe. People fall in love with certainty, even if that certainty is a bluff. When you take the helm of the ship, everyone else becomes a passenger. And passengers always fall in love with the captain because their lives are in his hands. In the workplace, in your friend group, in your romantic life, be the one who makes the final call. Be the one who, when everyone else is shaking with indecision and complaining, says, "Calm down, here is the plan." You must be the anchor. When the emotional storm hits, everyone should claw their way to you so they don't drown. This is absolute power. But to play this role of the leader, you must first break the heaviest chain around your ankle, a chain that sucks your psychic energy and suffocates you.
Carl Jung used the term persona. It comes from the Latin word for the masks worn by actors in ancient Greek theater. In life, this is the polished social personality you carry around from morning to night to prove you are a good, civilized human. This mask is heavy. It is exhausting. Trying to always appear flawless, always having your hair perfect, always saying the right philosophical quotes and never getting angry, it is killing you. And worse, it is making you ugly. Yes, you heard me. Perfection is repulsive. Let's look at a concrete case study. Imagine two influencers or public speakers. Person A, everything is perfect. The studio lighting is divine, their grammar is precise, their teeth are blindingly white, and their life looks like a stock photo. They have no problems. How do you feel about them? You might admire them, but you don't connect. Deep down you say, "This is fake. This is a performance." Person B turns on the camera, maybe their hair is a bit messy, they stumble over a word and say, "I messed that up, let me say it again." Or they confess, "Guys, I didn't sleep last night because I was anxious and I feel like trash today, but I needed to tell you this." Who does your heart beat for? Person B. Why? Because they are real. The strategy of death of the persona is radical authenticity. It is the audacity to be disliked, but to be you. When you try to please everyone and be perfect, you become a plastic mannequin. People don't marry mannequins. People don't do business with mannequins. Humans are thirsty for blood, flesh, and raw emotion. The person who has the guts to say, "I have this weakness," or "I absolutely hate this thing," is perceived as strangely powerful, because the hidden subtext is, "I am strong enough that I don't care about your judgment." This is the ultimate liberation, when you no longer fear your mask slipping, when you no longer fear rejection.
That is when your internal magnet activates. You have now learned the laws, from integrating the shadow to killing the persona. But knowing is not enough. There is a canyon between knowing and becoming, and the end of this journey is only the beginning of your true story.
We have walked through 9 stages of the darkest, most potent psychological laws known to man, from killing the weak, nice guy within you to embracing your shadows and your scars. But wait, I know how the human brain works. You are excited right now. You feel like a king. But the moment this video ends, the mundane will wash over you like a black tide. The Matrix wants you asleep. It wants you compliant. I do not want you to forget these 9 laws. I do not want you to wake up tomorrow as a soldier again. That is why I have prepared the master blueprint of this battle, a precise, clean mind map. All 9 laws, their traps, and their strategies condensed into one single image. This map is your secret weapon. You must have it. You must look at it every morning to remind yourself of who you are. I have left the link to my Telegram channel in the description. Go there, join the Brotherhood, and take the blueprint. It is my gift to the sovereign within you. And now, one final request. I want you to make a brave confession right now in the comments. Of these 9 laws, which specific trap has been holding you back for years? Was it validation seeking? Was it fear of judgment? Or perhaps being too available? Write this sentence below. I was a prisoner of law number, but today I am free. Writing this sentence is your first real step toward change, because until you confess where the structure is broken, you cannot fix the foundation. Remember, the world has no mercy for average people. The world only kneels before those who have the audacity to live their true wild selves. Be the king of your own world, or remain a soldier in someone else's. The choice is yours.